Now to that disappointing loss at the FIFA Men's World Cup. The U.S. has been knocked out of the tournament by an unrelenting Belgium. It's sad to even say it out loud. My husband was like jumping up and down screaming last night. But there was some contention even before the match began, after an intervention from President Trump and a shocking decision from FIFA to allow striker Flo Balogun to play following a red card in a previous match. Here's what head coach Mauricio Pochettino said after the game when asked if that red card controversy impacted the mindset of the team.
I think we were not good enough. It wasn't our day. We didn't perform in the way that we supposed to perform or show it our quality. But I think all that was happening was around, but I think it wasn't a situation that affected us.
Let's bring in MLS play-by-play commentator Steve Cangialosi. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. It's a sad moment, obviously. But Steve, the U.S. men looked pretty nervous playing the entire game. I was watching it with my husband. Those first 60 seconds even, we were like, oh, boy, this doesn't feel like the same U.S. team we've seen throughout this entire tournament. What specific changes would you have wanted to see?
Well, first of all, it's a sobering morning for U.S. soccer, and I think it's a reminder of why only 8 nations have ever won the World Cup since the inception of this tournament in 1930. It's a very difficult thing to do. Across the board, it was a bad night. The top United States players, Flo Balogun, Christian Pulisic, were far from their best. Goalkeeper Matt Freese, if there's one change in retrospect, and yes, this is 2020 hindsight, Matt Turner might have been the sharper goalkeeper going into the World Cup. But you talk about a right time to peak. Unfortunately for the United States, their best game of this World Cup was the first one they played against Paraguay. And you started to see little dents in the armor as the tournament went on, and they were beaten by a much better team last night.
So, yeah, I think that's the point, right? The team that the Belgians showed up, and I don't think they even started their best players up until they subbed them in towards the end. And I know that every World Cup we get very excited, and it's wonderful because I recall back when I was a kid, and this is going way, way back when Pele was playing in the for the New York Cosmos. I mean, this is like a long time ago. But to try to get Americans interested in soccer was a non-starter. And now look at the fans who showed up at that stadium yesterday to cheer on Team USA. But the question always to me becomes, are we going to develop the kind of youth programs that exist outside of the United States to develop the kind of players that we want to be able to compete at this level? Because at this point, it's not just the coaching. I just think that the Belgians were better. And at this level, as you know, any tiny mistake that's made, a team like the Belgians are going to exploit it, which they did yesterday.
I think we're largely on our way to creating the kind of infrastructure that you're talking about. Remember, the last time before this that the World Cup was held in the United States was 1994. There was no top-tier league in the United States. Not only do we have one now in Major League Soccer, but all of those teams have their own second team. Teams that are competing in something called MLS Next Pro. That infrastructure largely exists. But I think to cut to the point of your question, how far are we away? I remember a conversation I had with Bruce Arena, former coach of the U.S. men's national team in 2006. That was a disappointing World Cup. And he was asked at a press conference in the aftermath of it, how far are we away, really, from winning the whole thing? And he said we were at least 12 years away. There was an audible gasp in the room when he said that. But think about where we are. Those 12 years have come and gone. And on top of that, another 12 years at least will take us into 2030. This is a long, arduous process. Are we on our way? Absolutely. How far? That's the $10 million question.
Fair point. But a lot of fans are probably going to go to the soccer pitch after watching that this weekend, and so maybe some of those will make that dream come true. Steve Cangialosi, thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, guys, and thank you again.